There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone. Hello everyone and welcome to SyFy Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the SyFy channel. I'm Sean, Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 5 of season 4 of Van Helsing.
Oh my gosh. This is great because we're getting information going backwards.
Yes.
So I was like, oh my God, what is happening? There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
But before we jump into all that, let's get some ratings news.
All right, episode 5 had a 0.10 in adults 18 to 49 with 0.339 million viewers, making it the 93rd rated cable show for the day.
Not great, but not bad.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. All right. So, episode 5, Liberty or Death. Sam and the brides arrive at Fort Collins, where Hansen reveals a secret for raising the Dark One. I don't know about you, but when we get the flashback to Black Tech 20 years ago, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
What is happening? Okay. So Hansen, of course, is not happy because he was told Scarlett died in a house fire. But then I was like, wait, did she actually say she died or they think she died? I was confused for a second. Like, I had to rewatch that twice.
Right. Yeah, I think she actually told him that she had died.
Okay. And, of course, the only way to raise the Dark One is with a Van Helsing, so he is not a happy camper. Now, was that the same woman who was in the other season who was saying she was Mama Van Helsing?
Yep, sure
Okay.
was.
I was looking at her going, I think it is, but I wasn't 100%.
Yep.
And I want to know what she was injecting. Because he's like, oh, sorry to interrupt your beauty routine.
Right.
It's like, what is she injecting? Because I don't remember. But then again, it could have been just like, I don't honestly remember that they showed her injecting anything during that season.
No, I don't recall seeing her doing injections of any kind. But yeah, it had to be something that keeps her from aging.
Okay. So Hansen, being the fine, outstanding person that he is, was holding her by the throat, basically ready to end her because he was ticked off. And she's like, wait, there's a plan B, because she harvested eggs from both Vanessa and Scarlett. And at least we know the how now.
Right.
Because that was confusing me when all of a sudden there's another Van Helsing.
Yeah.
So they would not have to do any additional testing.
No.
Because this was what they'd wanted. But, of course, Hansen is like, get me virile military men and a whole array of them. It's like, oh, God, okay.
Right.
And the rest of the Dark One's blood. So he kind of was still experimenting because we see him doing the old, Petri dish. And he's like, an heir and the spare. It's like, oh, God, stop. Please just stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's the curled up mustache that he could...
Oh, my gosh. That would have been perfect. Just put on the big black hat, something. And then we get to come back to the present where we get Hansen and the Oracle, of course, pointing fingers at each other. Big surprise, right?
Yeah.
And Hansen's like, listen, you need to join the modern world. And she's like, leaving traditions behind is bad because that's the only way we stayed alive and we'll survive. And on one hand, because they're blaming him for the daywalkers, which it is all his fault, I understand what they were saying because when they started to come out is when we find out that a lot of them got wiped out.
Right.
So staying hidden would be better. But Hansen, who weirdly apparently is like a daywalker. I think they all are now. I don't understand because the Oracle and Sam and everybody.
Vampires. I don't know what.
Yeah, I was just confused.
Yeah, the daywalkers were this Hansen's stable food source. You can't kill them. They suck them dry and they just come back to life. So.
Okay, so again, something I was confused with. So I know because Sam said, oh, they taste like shit. So they're talking about specifically the daywalkers are supposed to be their food.
Right.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Because the daywalkers continue to feed on the humans. And at some point, if they're not feeding, won't they end up going like feral?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like this is going really weird because like they're not following the rules they already set up. But whatever. We'll get to that eventually, I think.
Right.
Maybe. But anyway, so of course they're going to continue to argue after going over what happened with Vanessa. And when Hansen is asked, well, where are you hiding the spare? And of course we see all of a sudden they're getting a demonstration of Violet and everything she can do. And she's just ticked off at everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel horrible for the poor guard who's her sparring partner because she's just beating him down.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, we have the Oracle and Michaela like, oh, yes, very good. Dark One will be pleased. And Sam's like, oh, I can eat this. No, Sam, you can't.
He even asked Hansen, you make another?
Yes.
For me to play with?
And Hansen's like, none that survive. Now, the question is, does Hansen really not know that Jack is alive?
Apparently not. They didn't know Scarlet survived, so I think Jack probably escaped in a similar manner.
Well, she was on a trip. I mean, I'm assuming that part was true.
Oh, yeah.
And they just assumed she didn't survive.
More than likely, because she never found her parent.
Now, I am going to have to say, Sam is so damn creepy. Oh, and it just kept getting creepier.
Yes, he is amazing.
And I'm sorry, I already have to correct myself. It was 10 years before, I don't think it was 20, was it? With the flashback?
I thought it was.
Oh, maybe. Because I don't think the girls, well, they're not 10, but they're certainly not 20, I don't think. I don't know. I'm confused. I was looking at my notes, and I think I said it wrong.
Close to 20, in their early 20s.
Okay. So maybe he waited some time or something.
Right.
But anyway.
I'm sure he had to find test men to figure out which ones he wanted to use. So, yeah, it might have taken up to a year before we see him with the Petri dishes.
Okay. Violet, of course, is ticked off, like I said, and she's like, I want my old trainer back. This one's broken. And then Sam, being Sam and creepy, blows her a kiss. It's like, ugh, stop. Please stop. So later we find out that Hansen apparently has been alive for centuries and his real name is Wilhelm. Okay. So for centuries, he's been able to infiltrate various forms of government and work his way up into private sector, I'm guessing.
Sure seems that way to me.
And interesting when Oracle's like, oh, just let's see your original form. He's like, oh, I've grown accustomed to this. And everyone looks at him like, oh, really? Did you forget what you look like? Now, the other ones did not change back to their original form. They all kept their human guys on.
Right.
So why do you think they did that?
Well, I think the Oracle and Michaela both, they haven't been, the Oracle's been around and out probably as long as Hansen has, but we've only seen her as the hideous Oracle. So, yeah, she's enjoying having a fresh new look. Michaela's been out for, who knows, for centuries. So that's probably why she's more likely to keep her old form for a while, just so she feels better about herself. Because when they woke her up, she was not looking good.
No, she needed some conditioner for real.
Yeah.
We also had seen previously Avery telling Violet that I'm investigating your dad, and unfortunately that has something to do with you. And big surprise, not ending well for Avery.
Yeah. Because
they're going to celebrate the Dark One by feasting, and the feast is Avery. And as they're about to feast, or during the feast, I couldn't quite tell which, Sam notices the door is open a little bit and moves, and he goes off to investigate. Okay, he's a vampire, heightened senses, blah, blah, blah. So he knows that Violet is, like, right around the corner of this hallway where he stops and he starts singing Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Right.
So what is he playing at?
Oh, he's frightening.
Which doesn't make sense because scaring her more is going to make her run, which is exactly what they don't want to happen.
But not Sam. Sam wants her to run so he can have something to go chase after.
But Sam also wants the Dark One to rise, doesn't he? Or is he happy being Sampire?
Personally, I think Sam he's got more power than he's ever had being Elder Sampire. And I think he would be perfectly content to just, I'm going to do my own thing for the rest of whatever now.
Especially when he creeps into Violet's room when she is packing her stuff to run. And he finds the drawing of Vanessa and he's all creepy with the drawing. I'm like, okay, stop, please. Because he's like, I want to kill her. It's like, no, you don't get that option.
Right.
And I think that's ticked him off. So next thing we know, we see Avery talking on the phone to headquarters saying, oh, Hanson's doing a wonderful job. Really?
Yeah, my mistake.
And of course, we'll write up Avery's report and make sure that she counsels headquarters to leave them all alone. And it turns out, I thought they changed Avery. It wasn't Avery. It was it Michaela or the Oracle? No, I'm having a brain fart. Had turned into her. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's one way to get around stuff.
Yeah, no. Avery was on the phone, and then she left. And that's when Hanson says, yeah, well, I'll make sure I write the report. And then Michaela says, well, I'll take the sisterhood and go after the amulet. And, of course, the Oracle goes, oh, no, you're not. I'm going with you. I don't trust you as far as I can throw you.
Right. And then all of a sudden, Hanson's like, where's Sam?
Yeah.
So I think he realizes more than even the other two that Sam is off his rocker and things are not going to go well.
Right. You can't trust. I mean, I'm sure Willem, the Oracle, and Michaela don't trust each other.
Right. But they know enough to work with each other.
Right. Where Sam doesn't. Sam's going to do what Sam wants to do. And I'm not sure that they're going to want to have this loose cannon messing up their beautiful opera that they're orchestrating here.
Right.
Like the dance we had when they were feasting.
I think this is going to get ugly really fast.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's go over to our not dark ones, shall we? So we see Phil in the yard, still chained up, and a young boy walks up to him and offers him some bread. And Phil, of course, is stunned and thanks him as we see Jennifer come running up, grabbing the boy, and it's like, don't talk to him. It's like, okay, obviously she is not very forgiving with what's happened, and that's completely understandable because she rips into him for killing his children because he never wanted them anyway.
Right. Yeah, that conversation there was pretty brutal.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
it's like,
because Phil was trying to tell his story and Jennifer was just knocking him down every word he said. It made Phil stop and think.
Right. And as he's thinking about this, he looks at her and is like, is he mine? And she just glares at him. It's like, oh, that's his kid.
Yeah.
Like instantly, I'm like, oh, that's his kid. Okay.
There's very little doubt of that, yep, that's his son.
And then we do get a little quick flashback, not flashback, but I mean, back to Violet.
Scene.
Thank you. I'm like, I'm using the wrong word. Violet walks up to the guard and asks about Doc and Julius. And he's like, I don't know. When I came on, Doc was gone and Julius broke out. It's like, okay, this of course isn't good.
No.
And this was before the Avery situation. At least we're assuming it is.
Right.
Because Violet goes to see Doc and knowing full well she's not there, but maybe she'll find some information. And that's when she finds Avery and she's saying they're investigating. And she asks, well, where is Doc? And Avery's like, I don't know. Your dad did something very, very not good.
Right.
Of course, Avery's like, I'm leaving in the morning with evidence, but this is going to impact you. Big surprise. Like I said, doesn't leave, ends up being the feast.
Right.
So we go back to Phil and the warden, Max, who is just beating the crap out of him. Because apparently this is like a dream come true for him.
Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't want to be able to just beat the crap out of somebody over and over and over and over again and never kill him?
He is so creepy.
Yes.
Because, I'm sorry, Phil, get your shit together. Because looking over at the group to see Jennifer and the kid, why do you keep looking at them?
Yeah.
Because all you're going to do, yes, you're going to put them in danger. And of course, Max is like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And he doesn't say anything. So he gets a baseball bat to the head. Now, all that's going through my head is you keep looking at them. Max is going to figure out and then start torturing Jennifer or the kid.
Right.
But instead, we get Jennifer bringing Phil food and water, and she wants answers to why he's not a vampire. He tells her, and it seems that she doesn't want to really grasp that. Like, nobody does.
No.
And he's like,
amazing that, well, I think she probably could have bought the part that about Vanessa changing him back, but then having to throw a daywalker biting him on top of it, which is giving him the rapid healing, definitely backs Jennifer off saying, no, you're still a vampire.
Right. And he's like, I just want to help you to get you and the boy out. And of course, no, you ruined my life. I don't want you anywhere near him. Okay, listen. How about I stay? Jolene will get you out. Okay? How about that? And I was very depressed. You're right. I wasn't happy and I didn't realize it. And surprisingly, she will actually say yes to this. Okay, fine. I will have Jolene get me out.
Right.
And you stay. It's like, I get it, but and then I'm thinking practically, it's like, it might not be bad having somebody who can be a shield, basically.
Right. Yes. Yes. You don't want 3 humans out there by themselves. You need some of that special juice to help keep you guys protected.
Yeah, something. But somehow Phil nods at Jolene to be like, yeah, it's on. We're going to do this. But I don't understand how that was going down because you're not talking to each other. You just know.
Right. That was what it gave off was Phil nodded and that told Jolene, okay, he's staying and I'm supposed to be getting Jennifer and the kid out. And
okay.
They probably had talked about it when they first got.
Oh, like this is the possibility?
A very strong possibility that Jennifer's not going to want me anywhere near her. So you may have to do this.
Well, Jolene does talk to the guard, Jeremy, and they're discussing that Denver really is gone. And Jolene's like, I'm still not giving up on Sarah. So, Doc, she's trying to find you.
Yep.
I don't think you're going to, but she's trying.
We don't know what happened. We don't
know.
Doc's alive right now. Or Julius.
Chances are they're alive. But where?
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping that, yeah, Doc's still got too big of a part to play in this.
Yeah,
so
I feel that too.
She's not.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
But Jolene does convince Jeremy that Max is going to kill you eventually. So you should just help us escape and you go with us. It's like, okay, do we think that this is going to work? I'm worried because Max is so off his rocker.
Yeah.
That Jeremy may not make it even to help the next step. But we're not there yet.
Right. Very strong possibility he doesn't make it out.
But we do get to see Axel meeting with the bartender, who is Violet's friend, and making some deal for explosives and guns. It's like, okay, this is great. That means he's going back, right? Right?
You would think so.
Like, I'm a little worried about this.
Yeah,
but
well, he does tell the guy that he really needs to make something right. So he doesn't mention Phil, but that's what I assumed he was talking about when he said that was, yeah, he's going to go get them out of it.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And we get to cut back to Violet, who does finally find a file about her and the experiment. And, and on my sister. Yeah, I'm going to go confront my father.
Not a good idea.
Maybe no. Maybe just be like, oh, crap.
I need to go now.
Right. It's like, this is very bad. Very bad. But that isn't actually what triggered her. It was Sam being creepy that triggers her. Apparently, she still wants to believe in Hansen, but we, of course, know the truth.
Yeah. And she finds out very quickly.
Yeah. So we do cut back and we have Max snorting that blue. You know, Max, maybe it's messing with your brain.
A whole lot.
Yeah. And Jolene is kind of badgering Max about contacting Denver, and Max gets pissed. So the guy who was brought in, which, way to go, Jolene, the old guy brought in to fix the radio, which is nothing wrong with radio, it's just that Denver is gone, gets shot. Way to go. Now you just got somebody killed, Jolene.
No, that was, the guy actually was who Jeremy found because Max had told Jeremy to find somebody to fix the radio, and he had brought that old guy in that was a computer geek.
Right. But Jolene kept saying, can you get a hold of him yet? Has anything happened?
Right, yeah. She badgered him big time about the radio not working.
Right. So needling him just pushed him further, and the poor guy died because of it.
Yeah. I won't argue that point.
So I'm not really cool with that. But of course, Max is like, all right, well, you fix it, Jeremy. He's like, I don't know how to fix this. And Jolene's like, I'll fix it. Really? And I love the line of, oh, you just can do everything, can't you? Jack of all trades over here. Of course, that's not really what was happening. She was just trying to get Jeremy out of harm's way so Jeremy would feel a little more indebted to her.
Right.
Hey, you guys, move the body, but don't get any blood anywhere. You just shot the dude. What do you think is happening?
Yeah.
And of course, we have Max saying to Jolene, I know you're lying. You can't fix that, can you? And she says no, and kind of moves in like she is wanting to have a little adult time with Max.
Right. Yeah, she was going to pull that card out.
I don't think it would have worked.
No.
Especially with what we found out about Max at the end, but Axel walks in the nick of time. It's like, oh, okay. Well, this is great, right? Because Axel can help.
Sure hope so.
And he's like, hey, I brought this alcohol. We have this. Hey, can I borrow her for a little time? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And he's like, no. I thought Max was going to just be like, no, it's not happening. Now, I don't know if everybody heard it right away, but I hear like the ticking.
Right. I did too.
Okay. I'm assuming it's supposed to be kind of Axel's POV, so that's why we hear it, because he's close to it and Max is not.
Well, they actually panned back because you have Axel in the chair and Max at the desk, and they pan all the way back to the stack of liquor that Axel brings in. And that's how we hear it go tick, tick, tick. And you go, oh, Axel needs to get Jolene and get out of there ASAP.
Right. And
just about to do it.
Yeah, I'm like so close. And, well, that didn't work out. But we do have...
Denver is gone, and Axel blew the story, even though he didn't know what it was to begin with. So
right, because Jolene's like, the hell are you? Shut up. He's like trying to tell her to shut up with her eyes. Didn't work out so well.
And, of course, Axel has to go, no. And Max sees that and goes, oh, you two know each other, huh? Well, she's not going anywhere.
Right. It's like, dude, you kind of screwed the pooch on this one, but...
Yeah. And then Max hears the ticking, and you go, God damn it, Axel, you really blew the hell out of this one.
And surprisingly, Jolene just shoots him in the head. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So as they're running out, Axel's like, get down. And we get the big boom. You have Jennifer and Owen and Jeremy all together along with Phil, because they got him out too. And they're like, get in the truck. We gotta go. And some guards come running, and Jeremy's like, the warden is dead. And they seem to be like, yes.
Yeah.
And took off running.
Took off.
Right. It's like, okay, are you freeing these other people? What's happening? Because nothing seems to be happening in regards to the other people.
Right.
But, okay, next thing you know, we're like, all right, this is going to work, right? No, because suddenly Max is there and he grabs Owen. And it's like, wait a second. Didn't you just blow up? How did you come back that fast?
Right.
I was confused.
Through the head at point blank range and then went boom. Even for a daywalker, that's pushing it.
Right. It's like, oh, I was turned at the Citadel. Oh, we're going really far back because Petrie did it himself. Okay, so you have older blood is what you're trying to say. Got it. But of course, Jennifer's like, no, you're not taking my kid. Take me instead. And Max is like, no, how about I take you both? And what does he say? If you follow me, I'll kill them. Because you think Axel and Flesh aren't coming after you.
Yeah. You're not too bright there, Max, if you don't.
Right. Yeah, that's just not going to happen, guy. But they go back to his house thinking Max went there, which I would never have thought Max went there. But
Right.
And at this point is when Jeremy and Jolene decide they're going to stay together because they're going to go look for Doc. And Axel,
The people.
oh yeah, and then go look for Doc.
Yeah.
Because she said she's not giving up.
Right.
And that's when Axel and Phil are like, all right, we're going to go find Max. Okay, great. So off on two separate adventures happening here. What's going to happen? Are we going to find Doc? Are we going to find Max? That's the question here.
Right.
But the final scene with Violet approaching the guard to get off base, he's like, oh, I know you're Hansen's daughter. I don't want any part of this. She's like, oh, don't worry. So she knocks him out.
Yeah.
Which I feel is a bad move because now he's just laying there and vampires can get him, whatever. Although it was just a bar being raised and lowered. It's not like it was really safe place for him to be.
Yeah, a group of daywalkers could rush it without any trouble.
Right. But Sam peeks out from the shadows because he's watching and he's just giggling and smiling. I'm like, what? I just wrote in my notes so many times, what is Sam playing at? Because he was just so creepy every time he was on screen.
Yep. He looks normal, but he's still the same creepy Sam that he's always been.
Yeah. Like, ugh. Overall, how did you feel? I would say, overall, how did you feel about the episode and the way everything was breaking down? Other than Sam being super creepy.
Well, I thought it played out pretty much the way it had to. I mean, we had to find out that Hansen, we thought Biotech, something was going on with them. Yeah, Hansen's been a vampire all along. It makes sense. His main agenda is bringing back the Dark One. It makes sense that they would have experimented on Vanessa and Scarlet, and because the other doctor was smart enough to get their eggs, they would create Jack and Violet. So, it all made a lot of sense. And it even made even more sense when we thought we got rid of Max and he came back. It just proved, yeah, he was a vampire too.
At least, in my opinion, we got some answers.
Right.
So that made me happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Max, how the other two girls, the other two Van Helsings were created. A little bit about the elders, but yeah, Sam, they could have toned that down a bit. That's maybe just me, but all right. So
he's
now
right on that edge of child molester creep.
No, he's like, I don't know. It's a whole nother level. All right. Well, you guys know how we feel about this. Why don't you tell us how you feel? Shoot us an email at SyFyTalk@fangirlzone.com. Let us know your thoughts on the episode, the season, or the series. We'll happily share it with other fans because we'll read it to everyone if you'd like. And while you're at it and surfing the interwebs, if you can rate and review us on iTunes and every other platform you find us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends, and we do hope you're enjoying the podcast. Get everybody to watch the show. Let's bump those ratings up because I know I need an actual conclusion here.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but for this episode of Sci-Fi Talk, I am Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. Tastes like shit. Oh, you didn't know.
And until next time.